Hi everyone, this is Diane. I am going to be talking about my final step in doing the signatures for my junk journals before I sew them in. This step could be done after they're sewn into the book cover. In fact, I was going to sew them in last night and then finish it up today, but my daughter and her husband came over for a visit yesterday evening, so I put the books away and just sat and visited with them, which was lovely. So we're going to do the finishing up, and then I will sew them into the signatures this evening, and they will be in the shop. Well, one of them will be in the shop a day or two after you see this video. I will have a flip through video up to let you know that it's done and ready to be in the shop. So this is the journal that is already spoken for. So what I'm going to do in this final step is to just go through and do any finishing touches on anything. Like if I wanted to round the corners on this card or ink the back, I'm not going to do that for all these cards. But if I wanted to do that, I would make sure that was done now. And if I wanted to add something extra into the pockets, if there was just anything, if I see anything that needs to be added or finished, that's what we're going to do now. So I'll take one signature at a time. This has one card in it, and I could put another card in it. So I wanted to talk about things you can put in your pockets. Now, some people don't fill their pockets. They might have things in some of the pockets, but not all of them. And I understand that because they're allowing the owner of the journal to put what they want in the pockets. I like to put things in every pocket. For the most part. Sometimes I leave a pocket empty. But you can always take out what I put in and put in what you want, and then you'll have, if you took this out, you'd have that to add to something else that you create. So you have digital cards if you are using a digital set. There are many digital cards you can just buy without digital pages. That's what this is. Look, there are so many of them. I think I have all of them cut now, so I think this is just one of each card, and I've already put some in these journals, and I don't remember who it is. I will have to, I'll link that when I do, I'll link it in today's video, in this video, and I'll also link it in the flip through video. So I have a lot of these cards to use. I also have some colored index cards. You could use white index cards, especially if you have vintage ones, which I do, but I didn't get any out. I have shipping tags. You could add folded up paper like stationery or just any kind of paper. I like to take cut off pieces of my scrapbook paper and add them. So let me see if there's some, if I have a scrap here that I can use. So you don't have to make something for every pocket. It doesn't have to be an embellished card or tag or anything like that. It could just be a piece of ephemera that could be journaled on. I want something that in this pocket that's not going to detract from her. So if I just take this long strip and fold it, I want to see what it looks like, and that looks perfect in there. So normally if I do this, I like to round the corners just to make it look more finished. But you could take this, and if you owned this journal, you could take this paper and journal on the back of it. Even on the front, it's light enough. Or you could take it and use it in your journal to make other kinds of embellishments. You could make a pocket out of it, or punch a shape out of it and make a collage. So anything that's in the pockets is for you to take out and play with or journal on. So there's one. I do have a cut-off piece in here, and I added just some ecru paper and a fussy cut. But if I wanted to add something else, I have bridge score pads that I can use. This is a long one. So I'm going to fold up part of it. I don't want to fold it in half because I want it to be tall, so that can go right in there. This is the lovely lady who is the mother of my customer who wanted this journal. She sent me these pictures and I just printed them from what she sent me. And I don't know if she wants me to cut them and glue them down, or she asked me to include, if I could, to include the pictures in the book, but I don't know if she wants me to glue them down, or I think I'm just going to leave it here and then she can take it and glue them anywhere she wants. She could cut that and glue them in 2 different spots if she wanted to. I think this page needs something. I have a lot of stuff here on my table. So I'm just going to add this pretty lady. I think I'll add her over here, but she just blends in with that paper, so of course I will back her with something pretty. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just cut this and I'm gonna do something just a little bit different. Instead of gluing her right to this and gluing her down, I'm just gonna kind of put things off at an angle and add some of this also. And I know I'm taking up some of the writing space, so what I could do is attach these all together and then glue it down as a tuck spot. You could tuck something in there to get some additional writing space. Maybe I want that lined up with her and this piece at an angle. The only thing is this corner isn't supported by anything. But if I glue on the cardstock, then it wouldn't be pulling on that piece, on the old magazine paper. So we're just going to do it. I want her, no. This is going to be at an angle like that. And she will be like that. So I'm going to put glue. Maybe not on that bottom corner there. Still got somewhere it's not going to be glued down. And then, well, I wanted this this goes like that. This goes straight like that. I wanted this behind. This down here. I'm doing it again. I keep wanting to make her the crooked piece. No, she's the straight one, and the yellow is the crooked. Okay. I want to make sure all this glue that's sticking out is dry so that it doesn't stick to the paper. This can, because I want to stick that down. So I'm going to put glue on the vintage magazine because we don't want to stress it by having that move too much. And let me just see, it's going to be like that. So I will glue along the edge and the bottom. So this is where you'll be tucking, and this will just stay stationary. Does that make sense? I hope so. Sorry, you're not seeing it. There we go. And I could add a little embellishment there. I have some paper flowers, or fabric flowers, or whatever they are. That I hardly ever use. I think I may have gotten this pack in a Happy Mail. I might want to use that yellow. Kind of a chartreuse color. Yeah, I think that's perfect. And I have these. I bought these so long ago. They were in, like, they look like little milk bottles, and each color had its own bottle. And I bought them on clearance, and I used them, but there were so many, and I wasn't using them anymore, and I gave them to my daughter-in-law. And then, not too long ago, I think I want a red one. She lists things on Facebook to sell quite frequently, and these were on there, these flowers, and I was like, oh, I could use those. So I told her I would take them. If I see anything that she's selling on Facebook and I get to it first, she just gives it to me. Thank you, Steph. She doesn't watch my videos. But anyway, she gave them to me, and I looked at them and I said, didn't I give these to you? And she said, I think so. I was wondering why you wanted them back. I was like, well, thank you for keeping them safe for me. There. That's a pretty little embellishment. And then I can take an index card and tuck it in there. Don't know what color I want. Maybe I'll just find a white one. So I'll come back and do that because I don't have the white ones out. I could stamp something on this page if I wanted to. I don't know. Let's try it. Let's do some more of these fun little 50s starbursts. And I will include some of these little fussy cut gals, so if Angela wants to glue one down, she can. I don't know which ones are going to be included, but you know, she could just add these to any of the pages. Okay, so let's move on. I wanted to cover that up because it's the ink bleeding through. So let me find a vintage magazine image. I have to unbury it first. That's something not too big. It's not quite big enough, tall enough. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this a little bit and glue her down. I might as well just trim right around her, and hopefully she will cover up that dress. I am using gigantic shears to do this. I don't want to trim around her face with that though. I just want to see. She looks like she would cover it. I went to the flea market this morning and found something very unusual. So I haven't done the video yet. I'm hoping to do that after I do this video. But I'm not sure. You might not see it tomorrow because I want to get this video up, and then the next video hopefully will be a final flip through so I can sell the journals. And then maybe about Thursday, no, yeah, today's Monday, so maybe about Thursday you could see my flea market haul. Now this is a pretty plain center. Sometimes I put an envelope in there. Let me see if I have any. This is my box of envelopes. Let's see if I have something that I like for there. Oh, well these I can put in the blue one because they match the stationery I used. This I could put in here. It's got a red rose. I could put this one in. And a yellow one. So, obviously, these are already closed up, so I'm going to carefully, sometimes it works to come in down here at the bottom. You can slip in there and maybe open it up without tearing it. Well, I don't have to do that right now. I guess I'll have to steam that or something. But that one looks like it'll open easier. But I'm going to set that right there, and I'll know that I need to open that up before I sew it together. Okay, that's done. This is good the way it is. I'm just going to put some ladies here. Or a lady. Let's just do one right here. So this is similar to what I did yesterday, but it's just fine-tuning and making sure all the details are done. Once I sew the signatures in, then I'll still have to go back through and seal the envelopes, or if I just tied the knot in the center of the signature with no envelope, I would do something with that. Either cut it, trim it short, or tie it in a bow, or attach something to the ends of the threads. This would be a good place to add something, but I'll let Angela do that. And I can add something into this pocket. I got out some guest checks and other kinds of, this is a canasta score sheet and a sales book receipt pad. I have Yahtzee, so any game score sheets are fun, and guest checks. So let's put a guest check in here. Did I already do a guest check? I don't think so. And this is one of the digital sets that I used. It got printed on cardstock by mistake, and I ended up having an extra page, so I just cut it into tags like this. There's one signature that is ready to be sewn in once I open that envelope. Next, I cut this piece of cardstock and I will glue something to it, an image. From the magazines. I think these are two. Cut her off right there. Let me see how that looks. It might be all right. I'm going to look at my beauty ads. These aren't all from the 50s, so they're all of my vintage beauty ads. So I'll just look for one that looks like it could be from the 50s. Some of these are from the 30s. Those could be for any era, I guess. But her hairstyle looks like 30s. Maybe that. Maybe I have some 50s magazines that I haven't finished going through and cutting up. Probably should have done that, because these are all older. She looks like she could be, but I think I would save her for the cooking one. How old are these? I don't want to spend too much time looking for an image. Too late, I've already done that. She could be from the 50s, I think. I'm just making more and more of a mess, getting more stuff out. But I don't want to cut her away from that. I want to leave that all together. So all of that was wasted time. So, like I said, you don't have to have embellished cards and tags in every pocket. I like to make simple tags like these, simple cards. I'll get rid of that text. And then you can also just stick things in that you don't have to embellish at all. Like the game sheets and the index cards. You could embellish them too if you want to. That will go in there. And I will round the corners because I like rounded corners. And I like to also put a tab on these things if they're inside a large pocket, just to make sure that you're able to pull them out. To make sure you know they're there. Because that could sink all the way in there. So I could put some fabric on there, but I think I will just use my whale tail tab today. Punch. I just found the large pages I was looking for. Just want to see how that looks. It's okay. Even just stamp a pattern on this tab. I think that would help it look prettier. I think I'm making this more complicated than it has to be. Let's try that. Sorry, I dropped something and I want to pick it up before it gets ruined. Didn't want to ruin her. Oh, that looks nice. I did buy a camera yesterday. I need to learn how to use it. It's smaller than this one. It's a Sony instead of a Canon. And it's digital, like it has a touch screen. And it connects to my phone. Never had a camera like that before. So when my daughter and son-in-law were here yesterday and I was talking about it, he asked where it was and he went and got it. I had charged it. And while Judy and I were talking, he was messing with my phone and he got it connected to my camera. I mean, he was messing with my camera and he got it connected to my phone. So there's an app on my phone with which I can control the camera. I think I can see on my phone what I'm doing with the camera, and I can start and stop it with my phone. It's like a remote. So I need to play with it and practice with it before I start actually making videos for YouTube with it. And then I might give my Canon that I'm using today to my grandson, because he's trying to earn money to buy a camera. For no particular reason, he just wants a camera. He wants to take pictures, which I think is great. So I can give this to him until he can buy his own. There we go. Finally. That looks nice. I need to put something in there. That one might be too wide. It might fit. I could trim it. I think I'll make that into a tag to stick in there. I don't think I showed you this page, but this is a book page, and I covered all of this with these 3 strips of cut off paper, and then I added this as a pocket and then this as a pocket. I really like the way that it's more of a brown or sepia than a black and white. It's from a Spiegel catalog, and I really like the way that color looks against this with the brown here. I just think that looks nice. And then I just stuck that tag and card in there. I am going to cut this. I don't like to cut old newspaper or old magazines with my paper cutter blade because it sometimes tears it. So I try to cut it straight. I think I did okay. So this is advertising some face care products. And all I have to do is tuck it in here. I don't have to add a tab to it or anything, except it is too tall. Why didn't I think of that? So I'm going to cut this part off. Number 3, you won't learn the 3rd step. Hopefully that did enough. No. I'll have to put that somewhere else. Now I need another tag for that. Well, let me just try trimming that. Okay, it fits in there, and I think I'll leave that square because this is all square. She's got her hand here touching a wall, but I don't like the way that wall looks there. So I'm trying to see if I cut her hand off, would it look odd? I think it'd be okay. Because I don't want her hand just poking out there and hanging out in space. That looks all right. This one shows through also. Sometimes I don't mind if there's ink bleeding through, but in this case I want to disguise it. I'll just round one corner and make a tuck spot. And I can make sure this envelope goes into the center. These are attached. They're perforated. No, they're just glued. But I could pull that apart. But I'm going to put both of them in there. I've got so many of these ladies, I figure I might as well just use them. part out. Didn't finish cutting that. I suppose I should do this too. I must have been getting tired of fussy cutting that night. I think I still have a few pages of these to cut out. So I am going to cut them out. They won't go in these books, but I'll have them ready for any other project. Well, since that's done, I have to do this part. Oops. Okay, we're getting there. And she just has a cutoff behind her. Again, I don't want anything that's going to detract from her. But I think I could add a game sheet. I have this Yahtzee score pad. And I can just fold that and tuck it in behind this. So we'll have a little extra writing space there. There's that signature. Oh, we're about, it's about time for me to shut this camera off, but I want to add something to this card. And I found these things, found where I put them. I kind of want something that's going to cover it all, not just that and have background. So let me see if I have anything that will cover it. This will cover it. Oh, or something like this. I think these are pretty cool. And it's got some red. It's an apron though. The red part is the apron, so that might work better in the other books. Oh, here's some red. That could be fun in there. Some little scraps stuck in the glue. So if I wanted to ink any of these cards, you know, I can do that now or after I sew the signatures in. But like I said, I won't be doing inking on most of the things. I've done a little bit of inking in these journals, but not too much. But I think I'll ink around this. I just won't do it on the video because it is rather light colored and needs a little something, so I think I'll ink around it. And I'll tuck it in there, and I can add a tab to that also. Let's see what else I need to do. I know I'm going to have to shut the camera off soon. This was a bonus pocket because I had her already glued to cardstock. She's a illustration from a story in a magazine. So I tucked this in there. So those both came out of my ready-made ephemera. Well, it's handmade ephemera, but stuff I already had made. Yeah, I'll have to glue something there. And maybe there. Maybe put something more in that pocket, one of those vintage game sheets or something. Not too much. And I'll probably put something else behind this. This is a alterations tag, but I'll put something else in there. So then this journal will be all ready to get sewed in. And then I'll have to do, I want to put this in the center. There we go. So I just have a little bit more work to do on this one, and then I'll do the work on the blue one, and I'll be able to sew the signatures into the covers this evening. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your wonderful comments on this series. I hope that you found it helpful for me to talk about my process for doing a typical journal. And I hope you'll come back to see the finished product. See you soon. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.